Hey, beautiful soul, and welcome to the weekly reading for April 17th through the 23rd, 2022. Happy Easter, happy Passover to those that celebrate. If you're new, I am Joyful Medium Joy Giovanni, and I help people step out of overwhelm and into love through mediumship and psychic readings, as well as coaching and teaching. You can connect with me further in the Joy Soul Spa private Facebook group, but let's get to this weekly reading. So I'm going to pull some cards and then we will talk about it. I've already pre-shuffled just in the interest of saving time. And for the last bit here, we have been working with this Celtic cross spread. Okay. So let's see what we've got this week. So this first card indicates the basis of the situation this week. Now, this life experience card is what we call a major arcana. So it's more of a major life event than like a day-to-day happening. This card indicates this inevitable change. So there might be something changing that you kind of knew was on the horizon, that you knew was going to be coming, or this can be an unexpected change, but it's a significant change of life circumstance. And sometimes this can be a bit of a difficult or challenging change. Sometimes we're just not willing to see the positive side. Things are always working in our favor, remember, behind the scenes. And sometimes something we might see as a negative initially, eventually turns around to be positive, sometimes very quickly, and sometimes later on. So in traditional tarot, this is the Tower card, the falling away of something to make room for something new, better, stronger, with more foundation, which, you know, this is kind of what we're working on this year. So let's take a look at what else we've got with this. Now, the card that crosses it, so the thing that is kind of in the way of our healing or our understanding, or what might be an impediment or a challenge, kind of crossing that this week. Five of Water, things not turning out the way you'd hoped and not seeing the positive of a situation. Crying over spilled milk. This is the crying over spilled milk card. So remember, with this life experience, the Tower card, I want to call it, you know, we talked about really wanting to see the positive, even in difficult situations. This is that crying over spilled milk card. So for some of us, we might be wanting to hang on to the way we wanted it to be, or the way we wanted something to turn out. Just this is things not turning out maybe how we'd hoped or how we thought or intended. And this is just really having some challenging emotions around that. So the suit of water has to do with our emotions. 5 is the number of change, but this is like, we're having a tough time with this change for some of us. So just keep that in mind this week. Crying over spilled milk. Are you doing it? You know, how can you step away from, you know, the things that we're not able or willing to change, and really just trying to see the positive, or how you can make, you know, lemonade out of lemons, right? Okay, so the basis of the situation, Ace of Air. Ace of Air is a great card. So air is a suit of swords, which has to do with things of our intellect, our creative mind, our rationale, our reasoning. And this Ace of Air we've seen before recently as a new beginning, new opportunity. Let me read these cards. These are the RadleighValentine Angel Tarot deck, which I love. Brilliant new ideas, inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, challenging beginning. So this goes in alignment with what we've been talking about. There, you know, there may have been an ending of one thing to create a beginning of something else. That beginning, we might feel challenging emotions around it, but there is new inspiration, new opportunity, new ideas, like maybe like a fresh way to see the situation. That's kind of the bottom line here this week. Okay, so let's look at the recent past. 2 of Water reversed. Now, 2 of Water has to do with very close relationships and connections in our personal life. So, you know, often this can be a romantic partner, but it doesn't have to be. It can be your children, your parents, your, you know, close friends, close work colleagues, if there's a friendship there. And normally when this card's upright, it's about, you know, a relationship growing closer and forgiveness. But since it's in the reverse, and this card's telling us what we might have learned recently that will help us out, you know, where in the past have you maybe not let a relationship go when you should, like hung on for longer than you knew you should have? Or, you know, where were you not willing to see the truth about a situation, the truth about a relationship as it relates to someone in your life? And what did you learn about that you can transfer to whatever is going to happen for you this week, regarding that crying over spilled milk, that letting go of things that are challenging, being willing to move on, being willing to see the truth? You probably have learned some hard lessons around this in the last couple of years, and you can draw from that experience. So it's not wasted. Now, the highest good, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecy, sleepless nights, this 9 of air. Okay, so this is that 9 of swords. Now, oftentimes this 9 of swords is like, we're having sleepless nights because we're racking our brain, like racing thoughts, keeping ourselves awake, thinking out every negative possibility of what could come of this situation. Stop it. So your highest good is really just to, I'll give you my mantra, everything's always working out. Everything's always working out. Everything's always working out. So this is kind of sleepless nights from our own causing, usually worry, racking our brain over a situation. It's not helpful. You'd be better off just to get the rest. So this is just a little encouragement to make sure that you're not keeping yourself up at night worrying about this situation, that there is new inspiration coming. If you're willing to see the truth of the situation, you can move through it a little bit more easily. But, you know, we have challenges in this life. It's just part of it. Right around the corner for us is this 4 of Earth card. So if you are having sleepless nights and feeling really stressed out about whatever change is inevitable for you this week, make sure you're not slipping into this place of excess to try to comfort yourself, or of depletion, meaning, you know, that kind of not allowing ourselves to have things, but not out of like a healthy choice, out of like a self-deprivation, or, you know, really withdrawing and being too imbalanced with how much you're in touch with people. I'll read this card to you. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving back to those less fortunate. The 4 of Earth is a really cool card. So 4s tend to be about balance. So this card is just reminding you that, hey, even when things are tough, we have to find the balance, right? We have to address our emotions while still living in the world and figuring out or allowing new inspiration to come in to help us move forward, learning from what we've already been through. So we're not just creating sleepless nights, you know, for no reason, and just being in balance. So what can you do this week for either a little extra self-care or, you know, just some time for yourself for processing, so you can give yourself that space to come fully into balance? And it's just a caution about making sure we're in balance to make sure we're not out of balance, if that makes sense. So just keep an eye on yourself this week. You know, we all have our different tendencies personally when something feels tough in our emotions. Some of us withdraw, some of us, you know, there's lots of different things we can do. I don't want to list them, but, you know, just keep an eye on that for yourself and be aware, notice, so that you can make the choices that are in your highest good this week. Now, I am going to pull from this other tarot deck. I thought it'd be fun to do the guidance with this other tarot deck that you guys know that I love. And this is the Modern Witches Tarot. I just like that it is so non-binary and, you know, neutral and inclusive. Okay, so you in the situation, Page of Wands. Now, Page of Wands is very passionate. She also has new inspiration, new ideas, a new flow coming to her, but she can be a little bit stubborn. So are you getting stuck in the difficult emotions of whatever this inevitable change was for you this week? Make sure that you are trying to let that inspiration come in instead of just digging your heels in, that crying over spilled milk again, right? Like, I don't want this to change. I don't want to have movement. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to do it, that kind of a thing. She needs movement. She can sometimes be overly zealous. So when you're having to pivot or make some changes and choices, make sure that you're thinking them through. Make sure you're available for inspiration from, you know, your higher power, your divine mind, whatever that is for you. But you have the potential to really start making steps towards what you're actually passionate about as a result of whatever this change that might feel challenging is. Now, other people in the situation, this is really interesting. So we've got the Page of Swords and the 9 of Swords. So she's about new beginnings. This gal is about defending what's hers, defending what she's gained, what she's been through. So this is other people in the situation. So you might be actually moving towards accepting this change a little easier, but someone else in your sphere of influence, someone else in your life might not be. Someone else might be just really wanting to hold on to what was or what was supposed to be. So it's just something for you to know that not everybody might be as available for you as you like to coming around to this change, this transformation that's happening. So just be aware, just because someone else doesn't like it or isn't wanting to get on board doesn't mean you have to do it differently. You can still process it in your way. You can still work the lessons that you've learned, and it's okay to sleep at night, even if someone else can't. Okay, so a couple other points of I was going to say judgment because I'm reading one of these other cards. A couple other points of interest, just some guidance. This Four of Swords. Now, this is about taking a rest, taking a break, recharging. Remember, I tell you guys, recharging your light is part of self-care. So this Four of Swords is really interesting. There's a longer story about it in the original tarot, but it's about kind of having your ducks in a row, trying to be prepared, being realistic about what is, but then, you know, taking a break, taking a beat to honor what was, to regroup, to reassess, recharge for what can be in the future or next. So this is actually a good card, and it's just reminding you, hey, take a break if you're feeling overwhelmed about this change. Don't avoid processing your emotions, joyous and difficult, around whatever this inevitable falling away is. Yeah, Four of Swords is actually a really good card. So take a little rest if you can, even if it's just taking a walk around the block. Get it however you can. Judgment. This sometimes can look like a bad card, but it is not. If you look, these people are pretty joyous about this Judgment. So this is the truth of a situation being revealed. And it's back to that mantra that I gave you guys of like, you know, everything's always working out. Everything's always working out. Just know that there might have been, you know, whatever this challenge, this necessary falling away, there might have been something you weren't aware of in a conscious way about this situation. And it needs to fall away so that your next best, highest, greatest potential opportunity can start to come forward for you. So this Judgment is a good thing. It's kind of like whatever this situation is was weighed and measured and found unworthy of you, and it's just not going to work out in alignment with your highest good. So just know that this is a necessary shift, transition, falling away, change that absolutely needs to happen. And for some of us, it might not be that uncomfortable. We might already know about it. We might have been dragging our feet a little bit, but it might be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this is happening. And it can be in any area of your life. So yeah, so this is actually a good card. This is a pretty good spread. So I like that, even though, you know, there's a little bit of a potential challenge or resistance in here, or falling away of something that we probably already know wasn't the best for us or wasn't going to work out in the way we wanted. There's some good guidance, and there's some positive messages to be had around it. Now, I'm going to give you a message from a loved one in the spirit world. So if you're in a place safe to do so, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just whichever loved one in the spirit world is the first one to pop into your mind, let's do a message from them. I am with the rest of the family. You know, in mediumship readings, this is something that the spirit world communicates pretty often, is who else they're with on the other side. So I sometimes, I'm going to flip this up to talk to you guys. I sometimes will have someone, for example, that crosses over that, you know, maybe their parents crossed over many years ago, or their grandparents, and they will often in readings let us know like, hey, I'm reunited with the rest of the family, or hey, grandma came to help me in my transition when I was in the hospital, or, you know, just indicating that they are with loved ones. And it can be biologic family, or it can be friends, people we cared about, other people that we know. So I love this message, and I'm going to pull one more little clarifier or additional message. Moving forward, get ready for positive change. How incredible is that? So your loved one wants you to know that whatever this is this week, this tower moment, this falling away, they're just giving you a big hug and saying, move forward, get ready for positive change. So ultimately, this change will be positive. It might feel a little icy in the way it comes about, but you got this. So rest assured, positive change. It's time for it. Get ready. Well, that has been our messages this week. I'm so glad that you guys joined me. And if you, like I said, if you're not in that Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, hop on over there. We're going to start doing some more free workshops, and I've got some big announcements coming soon. I can't quite tell you yet, but I will very soon. So again, happy whatever you're celebrating this week. Lots of love from me through this change, and big hugs, and bye for now. I will see you guys very soon.